Your Excellencies, it is a great honor to address diplomats and leaders of all but 4 of the world's nations. Your responsibility to utilize the skills of diplomacy to save the planet from the scourge of nuclear annihilation is inadequately recognized and appreciated by the public. But we understand that the very future of humanity depends upon your success. The promises made pursuant to the review conferences of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty contain an abundance of risk-reducing, security-enhancing commitments that, if actualized, would have dramatically improved the relationship amongst nations that today are either implicitly or explicitly threatening the use of nuclear weapons. Some commitments have become dated, some remain highly relevant. However, the good faith efforts at capitals of the nuclear weapons states to fulfill these commitments did not overcome the passion and policies for the pursuit of military advantage, despite recognized disarmament obligations and despite claims of pursuing strategic stability. Modernization and new uses of nuclear weapons has occurred. The pursuit of security through military expenditures since 2000 has exceeded $30 trillion. Nuclear weapons remain a significant pillar in military doctrine, stimulating fear and thus more military expenditures. The nuclear arsenals institutionalize adversity. Even though it is recognized that a nuclear war cannot be won and must not be fought, we've not made appropriate progress to fulfill existing disarmament promises, and in fact, adversity based on nuclear threats has only increased. Ignoring past pledges puts the very fabric of civilization at risk. Pacta sunt servanda, promises must be kept, is the foundation of peace amongst nations. Destroy good faith compliance with agreements, says Aristotle, and you destroy the intercourse of humanity. In the nuclear age, this is not an option. We've heard numerous risk-reducing, non-proliferation, and disarmament proposals from nations and civil society already in this conference. They reinforce one another and are not adverse. But no matter what is agreed in this process, we cannot permit it to be marginalized by military, nationalistic myopia and the mistaken belief that simply more capacity to destroy will bring more peace. We must prevail in changing the policies and economic allocations of the nuclear weapons states. We face a paradox. The more nuclear weapons are improved, modernized, and made usable, the less security is obtained. Yet this is what is being done. This is irrational and unrealistic. Let us begin with a new realism, destroying the regenerative processes of nature, putting the health of the oceans at risk, failing to adequately protect the climate, the diversity of species, and rainforests are matters of existential magnitude for humanity. Nuclear weapons present a hurdle to the cooperation necessary to address the global threats of the 21st century. Human security emphasizes our common humanity and the actual way people live. Common security is the multilateral expression of human security amongst nations. Our choice is very clear. The commitments made in the past, wherever possible, must be reaffirmed and followed, and we must have open minds for new proposals. We cannot go backward. Going forward requires a realistic approach to security based on the science of today that informs us clearly of the need to cooperate and approach global threats with solidarity. It is time to heed the words of Albert Einstein and Bertrand Russell in their famous manifesto. We appeal as human beings to human beings. Remember your humanity and forget the rest. If you can do so, the way lies open to a new paradise. If you cannot, there lies before you the risk of universal death. Our commitment is to help ensure that the diplomatic agreements forged in these quarters become applied policies and overcome fear and threats with reason and humanity. It is high time that the diplomats of the nations with nuclear weapons commence focused, committed, thorough negotiations to fulfill their legal obligation to eliminate these horrific devices. Senator Alan Cranston reminds us that nuclear weapons are unworthy of civilization. I want to remind us that successful diplomacy is necessary for civilization. Please do not let us down. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the Global Security Institute for his statement. The last speaker on